Sometimes when a woman goes silent, it shakes a man in ways he can't quite explain. His mind begins to spiral. Did I say something wrong? Is she losing interest? Is she seeing someone else? But what he doesn't realize is that her silence isn't always about disinterest. Sometimes it's about intensity. A depth of feeling that overwhelms her. The kind that doesn't show up every day. That's exactly why she pulls away. And not because she doesn't care, but because she cares so much it terrifies her. She's been taught that needing someone makes you weak. That leaning in is dangerous. That love is not a home but a battlefield. So when she finally meets a man who makes her feel seen, safe, and vulnerable, her first instinct isn't to lean closer. It's to retreat. Not because he did anything wrong, but because her emotions are suddenly louder than logic. The connection becomes too real, and real love. That's the kind of thing that scares people who've had to protect themselves for years. Her pulling away is not about him, it's about her armor cracking. It's her fear screaming louder than her desire. Because if she opens up and he lets her down, it won't just sting, it'll destroy. That's why she disappears. Not to punish, not to test, but to breathe. To survive her own emotions. And in that moment, a man has two choices: chase and prove her fear right, or stay calm and let her see something different. A man who isn't shaken by her silence. A man who can hold space without needing to fill it. That's the man who makes her reconsider. Because he doesn't just make her feel something, he makes her feel safe in that feeling. And for a guarded woman, that's everything. When a woman pulls away, most men panic. They feel the distance and immediately assume something is wrong. Their instinct tells them to fix it, reach out, explain, prove their worth. But what they don't understand is that the space she's creating isn't always a rejection. A form of emotional regulation. It's her way of protecting the connection, not destroying it. She's not pulling away because she wants to hurt you. She's pulling away because her emotions are rising too quickly and she needs to slow them down before they take over. She feels the intensity of the bond growing. The excitement, the vulnerability, the risk of being seen too deeply. It can all feel overwhelming, especially for a woman who's had to stay strong on her own for years. When those feelings become too much, she doesn't want to lose control. She doesn't want to come off as needy. Or worse, fall too hard for someone who might not be ready to hold her. So, instead of exploding emotionally, she retreats quietly. She creates distance to breathe, to evaluate, to keep herself from falling too fast and forgetting who she is. But if a man responds to that with panic, with desperate texts, with constant checking in, he confirms her fears. He tells her, your emotions do cause chaos. And suddenly, she's not just afraid of her own feelings, she's afraid of his reaction to them. That's why silence is a test, even if it wasn't meant to be. It reveals whether a man can handle not knowing, whether he can sit with uncertainty without breaking. The man who holds his center in that silence becomes rare. He doesn't chase, blame, or beg. He waits not for her, but in his strength and that grounded energy. That's what makes her feel safe enough to come back. Men often believe they must earn a woman's affection by doing more and more texting, more explaining, more giving. But that mindset turns love into a transaction. So what many fail to see is that the moment she pulls back, the last thing she needs is more effort. She's watching for isn't how much you can give, it's how well you can hold your ground. Because when a woman distances herself, she's not always asking, do you still want me? Sometimes she's wondering, will you lose yourself without me? That question is everything, because when you chase, when you beg, when you pour more energy into her than you pour into yourself, you show her that your sense of worth depends on her response. And for a woman who's already emotionally overwhelmed, that doesn't feel like love, it feels like pressure. It makes her responsible for your peace. And no matter how much she likes you, she will begin to feel suffocated by that unspoken demand. But when you stay rooted in your own rhythm, when you hold your standard and continue to lead your life with presence and purpose, you become different. You show her that you are not a man who crumbles in absence. You are a man who continues to build whether she's watching or not. And that quiet strength speaks volumes. She begins to feel drawn back not because you pursued her, but because you didn't. because in your stillness, you reminded her that you were never trying to earn her. You were offering her something of value. And if she couldn't see it then, now she feels the weight of what she's missing. That's the kind of man she doesn't just return to, she rethinks her whole approach for. Not because he chased, but because he didn't need to. There's a certain kind of power a man holds when he stops waiting, when he no longer orbits her life silently, watching from the shadows, hoping she notices his loyalty. Most men, when a woman pulls away, stay emotionally glued to her. They don't reach out, but they don't truly let go either. They'll wait quietly. They'll check her social media, read into her silence, keep her on a pedestal in their mind. What they don't realize is she can feel that energy. Even if you say nothing, your focus on her echoes in the background. And that kind of attention, though silent, still screams need. But the rare man, the grounded man, he doesn't pause his life. He doesn't dim his fire waiting for her to return. He lets go, not as a tactic, but as a truth. He rebuilds, reinvests, and redirects his energy inward. He reclaims his time, his peace, his mission, and in doing so, he becomes unavailable in the most magnetic way possible. When she comes back, she often will, she doesn't return to the man she left. She returns to someone new, someone evolved, someone she's no longer sure she still has access to. That doubt, that unfamiliarity, ignites a different emotion in her. Curiosity, maybe even regret. Now she's questioning herself, wondering if she still fits into the life you've built without her. That's the moment everything shifts. Because you're no longer the man who's waiting to be chosen. You've become the man she has to earn her way back to. Not out of revenge, not out of ego, but because you've changed. It's the version of you she once knew. He doesn't live here anymore. That's how you stop being remembered and start being missed. The hardest thing for most men to grasp is that sometimes love doesn't look like closeness. Sometimes it looks like distance. A woman pulls away not because she wants to hurt you, but because she's trying to figure out if her heart is safe in your hands. And in those moments when she disappears into silence, what you do next defines everything. Most men respond from fear. They react, overextend, or shut down completely. But the man who responds from strength does something radically different. He allows space without punishment. He doesn't guilt her, doesn't lash out, doesn't make her feel like she's done something wrong for needing room to breathe. Instead, he becomes a place of calm. He offers understanding without surrendering his boundaries. And that's what makes her feel safe. Because deep down, she's not testing how much you care. She's testing how much you respect yourself. Can you love her and still choose yourself when she's unsure? Can you give without losing your center? She needs to feel that she can fall apart and you won't collapse with her. That her temporary withdrawal won't provoke rage or panic. That she can return and not find a man who's bitter or cold, but one who's grounded, changed by the storm. And if she does come back, the terms must be different. It's not out of punishment, but out of self-respect. You don't let her walk back into your life like she never left. You ask yourself if she's now ready to meet you where you are, because you've grown. You didn't just watch, you evolved. And now the version of you standing here is no longer a man hoping to be chosen. He is a man who knows he is the choice. That's the energy she'll never forget.